I've been watching some YouTubers running in the Mesa Half Marathon, and it looks super fun, but I'm curious where my invite was. I have all these emails from YouTube, and not a single one of them was an invite to join them, which is rude, but that's fine. I can just go watch another video and invite myself to that. My next challenge is to run a half marathon in an hour and 45 minutes. I recently did a video on running a trail half marathon, which took me 3 hours and 12 minutes. I'd like to do a bit quicker on a road half marathon here. My PB was this one that I did in a parking lot, and it took 2 hours and 29 minutes. So yeah, we're going to cut 45 minutes off of that, and I'm going to do it at the Jim Thorpe Half Marathon. I figured what better place to run than a place named after someone who won an Olympic medal for running. Seems like it checks out, right? It's only 2 months and 1 day away before I have to get this 45-minute PB. Is that extreme? I don't think so. And the reason why is because Coros thinks that I can do it already. My race predictor here for the half marathon is 1 hour 41 minutes and 54 seconds. So I have 3 minutes of leeway as far as Coros is concerned. So the first step to prove that to myself and make sure I don't have any concerns, I think is going to be to run a 10K PB. Currently 52:53 is my 10K PB, and Coros thinks I can do it in 45:30. So I'm going to aim for a 50-minute 10K because that's the same pace that I'll need for the half marathon, but it's half the distance. It should be doable without much of a struggle, and I'm going to do that, and hopefully I won't struggle. This is what my volume has looked like the last couple months. Somebody has kept me from running consistently, so hopefully we get in a big fight or something and I have more time to run and we get back to these 40K weeks. I would like to start running longer distances on the weekends, but first, running the 10K tomorrow. All right, 10K day. Since it is slower than my threshold speed, I'm going without the inhaler, but I am going with my speed shoes, and hopefully it should be easy, but I am honestly a little bit nervous about it because I haven't run a fast 10K in a very long time. Easy. Lap 1 went great, exactly on pace, and then a bunch of my fans and supporters came out for their lunch break. I don't think I'm supposed to be here, so can I just extrapolate that 1 lap out for the next 30? Plan B, hopefully there's not a funeral to interrupt my run this time. And go. Thank you. Last one. All right, immediate reaction was that was hard. Yeah, to be clear, this wasn't a 10K time trial, even though it was a PB. My goal was to do 450 to 5 minute kilometers, more like 455 to 5 really, and not reassess based on how I felt, but just keep it and do a negative split, but just keep a steady, constant split, 5 minute kilometer, time after time. A little recap before I throw up stats, or as I throw up stats over here. First 3K felt really good. Heart rate was low 170s into 160s sometimes. And then my shoe came untied, which kind of sucked.
but I let it stay untied until like the 5K mark. When I did break to tie it, that's also when I took off the shirt because I could feel my head overheating. It's the first warm day of the year, the second. Yesterday was the first, but it is February. Yeah, at like 6 or 7K, I realized I think double this is my limit. And then it got harder from there. My legs definitely got tired. As my legs got tired, my heart rate climbed. I got a little side stitch sort of, and it was kind of rough the last 2K, but I finished every K except for the one where I tied my shoe was under 5 minutes. I think that was a 5:01, and let's see how the watch feels about it. Average pace 4:58, total time 49:44. Efficiency was excellent, 108%. VO2 max training focus, which does mean that my heart rate was a lot higher than it thought because I was going under threshold pace. It shouldn't be a VO2 max. Yeah, my max speed was 425, and that was when I was trying to make up time on the downhill for my shoe. Max heart rate was 186, average was 174. Steadily climbed up the whole time. Anyway, that's how it went. I'm gonna just keep running for the next few months and try to work in this speed at the end of my long runs, specifically at least, and we'll see how it goes from there. It's now 2 months later, and the race is tomorrow. I just got my bib in the mail because I wasn't sure I'd get there in time for bib pickup today, so I paid $15. They used 73 cents of it on this stamp in order to mail me my bib. So I kind of feel a little bit scammed, but that's fine. We'll get over it. I'm going to go use my own pins to attach it to my shorts, I suppose, because that literally was the only thing in this envelope. And then I will update you on what I've been doing for the last month.
Welcome to 5K number 573 of the 5K challenge. This is my shakeout run the night before the marathon, the half marathon. Recap on my 10K practice run is that I did it in 49 something. This rain is going to go away in a second because I don't run in the rain. The fact that I could run 10K at my target pace, I know is not a good indicator that I could run the whole race that way. I should have done like a 47-minute 10K, but the goal was not to prove I had the fitness. It was to prove that I was in the ballpark and that a 45-minute PB was less ridiculous of a goal. And I accomplished that. My heart rate, however, showed that I think I do have some work to do because it was over a threshold rate the last like 3K, which means I had a whole another hour at over a threshold. That seems difficult. So I began my work, jumping up to 40K per week that week, and continuing that. I also added 2 hours of bicycling at the gym, which takes, I don't know, it's kind of like I was doing 60K per week, 6 hours of activity, although only 4 hours of running, but we'll treat it as 60, right? The bikes were always low 130 heart rate intensity. The runs had my classic 4 types of runs. Your easy runs, they look like this. Your easy runs with strides, which I hated doing, so there's not very many of them. Your intervals, usually 400 meter repeats. Your threshold intervals, usually 2 or 3K. Either 2 sets in a 10K or just the middle 3K of the 5K. I only run in 5K increments, obviously. And then your long run, which were either 15 or 20K every week. I did keep my volume at 40K because of my right ankle. I have issues with it, so part of the training was also keeping my ankle good to go, which involved stretches, putting it in this brace for like 30 minutes every day. And then I got a massage gun, which I also massage gunned my leg for 30 minutes every day. And also my heels in the morning to get rid of a little bit of plantar fasciitis pain. Oh, Jim. As far as strength and conditioning, well, that was the conditioning. As far as strength goes, I considered going to the gym and doing strength work, but I decided not to after a single time when my back squat, bench press, and front squat weights were all the same weight. That was kind of demoralizing, so I just gave up on it completely. The week consisted of whatever random 5Ks, 10Ks, and then the long run. Didn't really follow a plan consistently. On the long run, I did buy a hydration vest to practice running while drinking. I also practiced fueling involving maple syrup shots and trips to the bathroom. They both worked out well. To be determined tomorrow how well all of that works out for me. They do have Yukon, I don't know what it is actually. Timberwolf hydration gels tomorrow instead of Gatorade, which is disappointing. But I've got a little packet of maple syrup as well. Don't at me for buying American maple syrup. I bought that before the tariffs. Obviously, now I'm buying straight Canadian maple syrup. And I've also practiced taking it out of my shorts, which you're not going to see now because I'm wearing different shorts tomorrow, but don't worry, I got that motion down pat. My last week and a half, 2 weeks before the race here, I skipped all of my workouts and my long run because life happens sometimes, and her name and so we're just going to pretend that was not a missed workout, but a really long taper because tapers are super.
Oh, there's a frog.
Ribbit. Ribbit.
So I'm all tapered up. I race in 9 hours. Plenty of time to recover from this. We will see if my fitness is at the point where it needs to be. Every single hard workout I've done this block, and pretend that it was a training block, has left me unconvinced that I can hold this pace for an hour 45, but I think that the 10K was a really good idea because I didn't fail at it, and it was the most positive part of this also. We'll see how the ray pipe affects me. Did I just say ray pipe?
Yeah.
That was awkward. The race pipe? I'm gonna have to edit that out. We're just gonna see how it goes, you know? I'll keep that. And a nice laughing in the background. Is that all good to go? Oh, one more. It is supposed to rain tomorrow, which I find to be very disappointing. Every single time I ran in the rain, I feel like it's destroyed my shoes. So luckily I have another pair of shoes at home, and I'm okay if these get ruined. There's a ton of money for the race, another ton of money for the shoes. Might as well go all in, right? Okay, that's it. We'll run tomorrow, where you won't get any footage.
Off to race, to prove to YouTube that I can run at that pace.
And hopefully you don't fall on your face.
Flying to the porta potties. There will not be much race footage, 0, because I'm not bringing my phone because I'm taking it serious. And I was smart enough to poop at home, so.
Everything went according to plan. Just cruising it here at the finish. So easy. Just kidding. That was tomorrow. This is today. Gold medal for finishing. and I'm gonna give my recap later. Okay, that's it.
It's significantly later, but I'm gonna recap the race here for you. Final time was 1:59.42, so I did get under 2 hours and a big PB, but nowhere close to my 1:45. We'll analyze the stats using Coros. I apologize if it looks terrible. Their website is not nearly as nice as their phone app, which I am making a video about later. So let's see, right here is the first time I walked, and it was 4.4K into it. At this point, I decided this is not working. I stayed right in front of the 1 hour and 50 minute pacer. And I mean, my average pace was 5:05. He should have been doing, I don't remember the numbers now, 5:15, I forget. The whole time I was like, bruh, get off me. No, maybe it was 4 hours. 4K is when he passed me, I think. And then, yeah, because see, this was averaging 5, and then this last, he passed me, and then I did 5:30 for 400 meters, and then I was like, I'm dead. Average heart rate of 179. That means I was in the 180s for a lot of it. And yeah, even though I started by doing 10K at 5-minute pace, I was only able to do 4K on the race day 2 months later. And then from there, I gave up. I still wanted to get a good time, but not my goal time. As you can see, I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 walk breaks. My average pace here, I mean, it dropped into the 5:30s. I couldn't even keep that. The route was just an out and back. Right here is the turnaround. I was super disappointed because even though the out was uphill 1%, the back I was like, oh sweet, downhill, but into the wind. The wind and rain started at like 4K, I think, and it was wet and gross the whole time. Speaking of, this is what I looked like when I actually finished. And I did finish after the guy in jeans. It was very disappointing when he passed. It was like here-ish, and I never caught up. He was always in sight. Anyway, at 11K or at 7K is when I started using my inhaler. I remembered that. I did drink maple syrup, but not as much as I should have. But I also did not crap myself, so sort of a lose-win there. It's possible I could have taken more and it been a win-win, but we'll never know. Let's see, after this break, I was like, let's just finish here at 6-minute Ks. And then it just didn't work. This didn't work. Right here is when we're at like 21K or so. This is when the 2-hour pacers were right behind me. And I tried to hold on to stay in front of them. It lasted for a K, and then I gave up because they passed me. And I was like, pfft. And then here's a little sprint finish, which I looked miserable. I know that form is ridiculous. And it was at 5:30 pace, not the 5-minute I went out on. And anyway, even though the pacers passed me here, it was still sub 2 hours. So not only was the 150 pacers kind of ridiculous, but I think overall the pacers I'm not impressed with. Yeah. Do we have an overall heart rate? .173. Average cadence 170. Coros thinks it was 104% efficient, so that shows that either I don't really understand this number or it's just straight nonsense. Or maybe it thought it was just a good training run for me. Who knows? Anyway, that's how it went. Got a huge PB just for the clickbait title, but I failed at 145. So, what did we learn from this? Some YouTubers say that there's no such thing as failure. There's either you win or you learn. So I learned Nothing, because I think this YouTube video is more apt. Sometimes you just fail. Let's not click that. Not everything's a lesson. Sometimes you just fail. I'm sure that some people think that there's a lesson to learn here, and if I gave you my stats and you analyzed it, you could say, oh, you were underfueled the day before, you were overtrained, you were etc. But I didn't learn any of that. So I learned nothing. I am just going to keep running once the plantar fasciitis heals, which, spoilers, took months. And that's all for now. Challenge failed.